No longer is raising livestock, big or small, considered to be something done by just preppers and or considered to be something that just people on farms do. Everybody can raise meat. Everybody can process and butcher their own meat, regardless of where you live. Everything is fucking expensive now. And there are ways that we can combat that by doing things at home and cutting costs by raising or growing our own food, okay? And once again, meat is no exception there. Here come all the people with their excuses. Well, it must be nice living in the country and getting to have animals to raise. Some people aren't that fortunate. I live in an apartment. I'm in the suburbs. I can't have animals in my backyard. Bullshit. Yes, you can, because rabbits are considered pets, and they are. They're very easy to take care of. They don't stink. They don't make any noises, okay? They're pets, and they can be raised in any setting. And if any of you want to use the excuse that it is too time consuming, we will also be squashing that excuse today, because raising rabbits is extremely minimal effort. They're the easiest animal to have. They're easier than having a cat or a dog or children, okay? Very minimal effort. So why should every household need rabbits? Well, let's talk about some of the perks. For one, they require little space and time. The cost to feed them is minimal and or can be free. Yes, you heard that right, free. Every part of a rabbit, including their waste, produces valuable resources. They could produce meat for you year round to save on food costs or allow you to build up your supply. You can profit off the litters once you've stored enough meat, and easily by just producing and selling 2 litters a year will profit enough to cover all costs to have them. And on top of all that, by having these rabbits, you have provided your family with an endless supply of meat through any SHTF situation. They are your insurance policy. Are you guys sold yet? I'm sure some of you guys are really surprised to hear how much these guys can produce, but they go to town. Term fuck like rabbits, right? That's probably where it came from, I think. Well, speaking of fucking like rabbits, wait, hey. They're fucking. So, learning point, this wasn't supposed to be a part of my video. I thought they might fuck, but nevertheless. When you're breeding rabbits for future reference, you want to basically wait until you see the male kind of roll off of her and onto his back. That means he popped the load. So it's a clear sign that he got the job done. Random fun fact for you. If you guys didn't know this, in other countries like France and stuff, you can, when you go to the grocery store, you can buy rabbit meat. It's right next to chicken. Reason being is because it tastes like chicken. So if you were wondering if rabbit meat like isn't good or gamey or something or whatever, no, it's not. It tastes like fucking chicken, okay? It's really good. I feel like you don't hear as many people talking about raising or eating rabbits, which is just really weird to me. I don't know why, because they're so good. It's very lean meat. I don't know, I don't get it. I don't understand why this is not something that more people aren't doing or talking about. So as you guys can see behind me, this is where my rabbits live. Now I want you to pay attention to the space that they need. Now with my setup, this literally cost me, for all of this, less than $100. I got all of my cages used online, as well as the feed boxes that they have. I used an old plant bucket and drilled a hole in it to get their water set up. You know, used an old hose that I already had. You know, I'm ghetto, guys. I'm telling you, like, if I don't have to spend money, I won't. I don't need my shit to look pretty. There's a lot of like Martha Stewart's online that have really pretty shit. I don't. All of my shit is ugly, okay? But I'm cheap. So if you are considering getting some rabbits, the first thing that you're going to want to do is some research on their breed. Now, New Zealand's, for instance, are one of the more popular meat rabbits, which I have raised New Zealand's and they were great. That being said, when I moved to Texas, I did actually move to the Tamuk, T-A-M-U-K. It's basically a crossbreed of, like, I believe 7 different breeds of rabbit, but they were produced strictly to withstand the heat. So depending on the area that you live in, it might be worth considering and doing some research on what type of breed might be best. You're also gonna wanna figure out how many rabbits you'd like to have. A lot of people will go with 2 does and 1 buck, which is great. Again, it's gonna depend on, you know, space and what you feel like you can handle. But for me personally, I like having 2 bucks and 2 does, all unrelated. Reason being is because I'm not just raising them for meat, I am keeping them long-term for good for a potential prepper type doomsday scenario, okay? So that being said, I like to have, you know, a backup. I like to have an insurance policy, and I don't want to depend on 1 buck. Okay, so I want to give you guys 2 popular routes you could go to make your rabbits worth having, okay? So the first route we're gonna go is for meat production. Each doe could potentially produce, you know, 200, I think it's a little less. So that weight that I'm talking about is actual meat that you would be storing, you know, to eat, okay? Not free hanging weight. You're looking at about 30 days for those rabbits to have their litter. You're looking at anywhere between 5 and 8 kits. And then they're going to need roughly 3 months to grow before you'll want to butcher them. I wouldn't suggest doing a very intense schedule where you're basically, you know, producing a litter with mama and giving her, you know, a very minimal break and then reproducing her again so you can hit that 200-pound mark. If you're on a very intense breeding schedule, then you could use the mom for reproduction up to like 2 years. If you're not on a super strict schedule, then you're looking, you know, potentially 3 or more years to use her for breeding. But that being said, it's good for you to think about and consider and know what to do about swapping out to get new breeders. When you decide to do this, it's a good idea for you to keep the mother before you either butcher her or whatever, get rid of her. Save her until you have tested the doe. You want to confirm that the doe can reproduce and she's a good mom. Sometimes you'll find a rabbit who won't feed her babies. She's not very good at producing large litters. So that might mean that it would be better for you to save a different doe. You won't be able to do that though if you get rid of mom, and vice versa for buck too. So just make sure that you're giving yourself time to test your potential swapping breeders before you do it fully, okay? So that's kind of the route to go if you're looking to want to just get meat from them. That being said, if you're going more of the prepper route and you do want to get meat from them, but you're looking to basically have these guys for good, you know, so that way potentially at any point in time if something happens down the road, you've got them ready to go. Okay, and that's what I do. I've always had rabbits. I've had rabbits for the past 7 years. I know, the easiest thing I've ever had. But if you go this route, you could either, you know, potentially save up as much meat as you can to fill your freezer. You can also turn around and start profiting off of them. This is another plus to rabbits, is because their gestational cycle is so quick, you can produce a lot of litters. You know, once again, we don't want to tire them out, but potentially you could be producing a litter, you know, every 3 to 4 months and selling all of the kits for profit. You're looking at roughly 30 bucks per baby rabbit too, so you do the math, okay? That's a really good way for you to make income off of something that is extremely cheap to take care of already. I literally will have them reproduce once, maybe twice a year, just to confirm that they're still able to reproduce. And then sometimes to just make a quick extra buck because times are fucking hard. So let's talk about costs real quick with rabbits. So my math today is going to be based off of 4 rabbits, okay? Now, like I said in the beginning of the video, you can do this for free, very easy, and I'm going to talk about how. My 4 rabbits will go through roughly a 50-pound feed bag a month. That's $20. With 4 rabbits, that is an average of $5 to feed each one of these guys a month. To feed them for 1 year, if they're strictly on a feed only diet, would be $240. You only need to sell 8 kits in a year to pay for all of the feed. That is how you make this free, and that is very easy to do. So another perk to rabbits is they're very resourceful. First thing being is their poop. They actually have very lovely shit. And especially if you're separating the urine from the poop, which I'll tell you why you might want to do that here in a second. But they actually don't really produce that much smell. So that's a plus. But the poop itself is packed full of multiple nutrients that are good for your soil. They produce what's called a cold manure, which means basically you can take the poop and put it directly on whatever you want, okay? You can throw it straight into your grass. You know, it's good for, you know, your grass to grow. It's good for you to, once again, put in your garden. You can just throw that directly onto the garden bed, your flowers, whatever. Some people do use rabbit shit to feed their other animals. This is also up for debate. Like I said, I did some research on this, and it seems like there's some people who suggest that you do not allow other animals to eat the poop based off of like some different diseases. But then I've also heard people who praise it because it can be, once again, part of like a permaculture type cycle. And I would say, based off my experience, I've always had my rabbits and my chickens together. I don't know if my chickens are eating the poop, but none of them have ever been sick. So I don't know. I just keep things the way that's easiest for me. Their pee is also can be used as a pesticide. Okay, so if you wanted to separate the poop from the pee, there's a lot of different ways you can do that, which I can do a future video on. Let me know. But if you do separate it, which I have in the past, I don't do that now because I'm lazy, but I have used their urine in a spray bottle as a pesticide. And it did seem to work. God damn it, all these fucking flies. Other resources include their hide. So rabbits obviously are super soft. You can make a lot of different things out of their hides: clothes, blankets, pillows. Just trying to get at basically every part to a rabbit can be used. Not to mention bones, okay? Bone broth is a necessity, I believe, to your health. It's got tons of different antioxidants, good nutrients, collagen, you name it. It's great for when you're sick. You should always be saving any bones from any fucking animal and making broth out of it. You can use it to cook with for making sauces. You can very easily pressure can it to use later. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. So bones, hide, poop, pee, the meat, okay? Every single part of the rabbit can be used for something, which is fantastic from a prepper standpoint. Like, nothing goes unused. Everything has a benefit, all right? So, once again, rabbits are great. All right, I stink and I'm getting really sweaty out here. It's hot, so I'm done. Hopefully I have, at least given you guys a basic rundown of what having rabbits is like. Once again, it's so easy. I mean, I really don't notice having them in comparison to all of the other animals I've had. I've had cows, I've had pigs, I've had chickens, cats, dogs, goats, you name it, I've had them. And I've always consistently had rabbits through all of them, and they're the least amount of work. I don't really notice that I have them. So they're so easy, guys. Jets again. You'd think that they could find somewhere else to fly. Like, why you always gotta fly over my fucking house? Anywho, okay, so that is it for me today, guys. Let me know what you guys would like to see in the comments below. Any questions you guys might have for me. And stay tuned because I will be producing more videos just like this, as long as you like and subscribe to my channel and make me want to do more. It's got to be worth it for me too, guys. I love to teach you guys, but it definitely helps when I get something out of it. So like and follow me, share my stuff, check my links below. I do get a portion of sales from anything you guys get on Amazon. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm still kind of a beginner. I'm not like a big deal yet. I don't get paid for any of this. I'd like to. The only way I can do that is if I get more followers and monetize. So watch my videos. That's it from me, guys. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more from Make Ready Missy. Bye, guys.